Hey guys, so today I'm going to talk about my struggles with being consistent. Most of you know that in order for your channel to grow and for your content to kind of make it, you need to practice, which means that you need to be consistent. You need to show up even when you don't feel like it. You need to be able to keep on producing high quality content in as many times as you can, right? But the reality is it's not that simple. It really isn't that simple, and life happens. Sometimes you just don't want to. Sometimes a lot is happening in your life and you just cannot bring yourself to thinking about anything else. So today I'm just going to talk about my struggles with being consistent, hoping that it will help somebody else. I hope it really does. So being consistent means being delusional, seeing the end goal while you're still in the race. That's not easy at all, you know? So I struggle. I struggle with that, but I try and show up all the time. And being consistent means that even when you see that the numbers are not coming through, when you see that people are dropping out of your video at the first 5 seconds, that's if you have your YouTube analytics, you can see that it can be soul crushing. But being consistent means that you keep going. You go over the cycle over and over again, even when that happens. And that's not easy to do. That is something that some people don't realize, especially people who don't create content, and especially people who may not have their analytics, because there's something about seeing those numbers that can really truly crush your soul. It can crush your soul, but you know what? It's a journey. And at the end of the day, numbers don't lie. If there's anything that is true, it is the numbers. Numbers never lie. So being consistent means that even when those numbers keep on dropping, you still have the strength to produce another video, create another form of content, not giving up. That has been really, really hard for me, but I keep going. And sometimes when we think of consistency, we're thinking of other people. You're like, this is the promise that I've made to the people who do consume your content. And you forget that being consistent is also more about the promises that you make to yourself. Because at the end of the day, truthfully speaking, the people who consume your content, you don't know them personally, right? But you know yourself. So as much as it might be crushing to not keep up, but it's easy to let go of something if it's from the outside. But if it's internal, if it's the promises that you have made to yourself, that's very hard. That's very hard. Not keeping a promise that you have made to yourself is so crushing. So you try by all means to be consistent. And I found that for me, it's more about myself, as selfish as that may sound, more than the people from the outside, because I tend to be harder on myself than criticism that comes from my from outside. That criticism for me, it always is foreign. I can take bits and pieces of it, but the criticism that you say to yourself, it's the worst form. That's the criticism that can really make a person stop creating, you know? What I've realized is also that consistency means not throwing the towel. It means not giving up, you know? So even when you don't see the results of what you are doing, it's that faith, that knowing that eventually this is the goal that I'm working towards, and eventually it is going to work out. So I've realized that it's more about the faith and also about not throwing the towel, to keep on going no matter how dark it seems, you know, because there will always be a silver lining. And one of the most important lessons that I've learned with regards to consistency, and also the struggle that I've had, is that being consistent means pouring your heart out. You know, it's pouring your heart out, doing the best that you can do all the time, even when it doesn't seem that way. You keep on going, you learn new skills, you try and better your content all the time, you know, even if it means changing one thing, even if it's your delivery, your script, or even, you know, the scenery. All those small things contribute towards being consistent, you know. So it truly is a struggle to continuously try and change those little things, and to give your 100% only for one person, or for no one to actually see the work that you've done, you know. It makes you feel like there is something wrong with you, but most times it can be a number of things, you know. It could be that your content needs to improve, or it could simply be that at that moment in time, no one really is looking for that kind of content. So being consistent means having faith ukuthi one day this could help somebody, you know. Having faith and being true to yourself, and creating the kind of content that you wish somebody would have created for you. So yeah, you just constantly have to keep pouring more and more every time. And also, consistency is no different to being a parent, you know, because as a parent, you may not know exactly what your child needs at that moment in time, but you show up every time when they need you. So that's how I feel with regards to being consistent, that I don't really know what my community needs from me at times, but I've made a promise to myself to show up every time. So yeah, I suppose that has been the lessons and also some of the struggles that I've had with being consistent, but of course, I keep going every time because I cannot disappoint myself, So here I am, showing up. Yeah, that's it for this week, and I hope you have a beautiful week ahead. Bye.